What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, I want to show you guys my brand new personal best on the Chimera boss. I'm actually really excited to show you guys. I spent a lot of time trying out like different teams, and for me, at least for my account, this seems like the best, most stable, most consistent team that I've been able to put on the field so far. So here we go. We got a pretty stacked team here. Obviously, some of these champions are going to be a little bit harder to get, but trust me, you know, they are all in game. They're all accessible to everybody. It's going to take you guys some time to get them all, but you know, most of them are accessible. We got Lamassu here, is the free champion you get from the Siege format content. You got Marius, obviously from the Marius missions, and then we have Lydia here at the final rewards for the faction wars. So those three are free in game. Now we also are running Emic. Emic is a void champion, unfortunately, but he was a fusion I think about a year and a half ago. And then lastly, we have Elva here, who is basically the welcome back legendary that you can buy for $20. She was also a guarantee way back in the day, in I believe December 2 years ago, for 20 sacred shards. Together, they make a team that's incredibly consistent. It runs the Unkillable buff to keep everybody alive. It runs a cleanse, block debuff, decrease speed, increase speed, block buff. Even has Lydia's block active skills to shut down the Viper form. And then we are running one DPS only, and it's going to be Marius. At least for me, Marius is the strongest DPS option I have. I believe, you know, he might be the strongest non-mythical, maybe, pretty close, but very lucky to have Marius on this account. Like I said, he's at the final reward for the Marius missions. Make sure you guys check out that video that I posted recently. It does have some pain points in that video that I highlighted so that everybody knows how to get him as quickly as possible without too much stall time. But here we go. We are up against the Ram form here. This guy's a pain in the butt, but the Unkillable buff keeps our team alive against the Ram form, allowing us to basically dish out damage to him without dying. But if we do die, we do have the single revive from Elva here, which makes it a lot easier. You see Marius there doing his triple slam and living. He did have the Unkillable buff on him. That's one way to work around the Ram form. Back into the ultimate form here. So this is kind of where we reset ourselves and then just start dealing the damage here. We have to get the decreased speed down right away. Obviously, decreased defense goes down right away as well. Block buff's really important as well to get it on the ultimate form so he doesn't get the speed up. Yeah, basically just to make sure he doesn't get as many turns and we get more turns than him. Using the reset on Lamassu sparingly again with Marius. Occasionally we will use his her reset on some other champions. For example, Emic. Emic has a 4-turn cooldown on the Unkillable, so using the reset there makes sense too. Emic also has a 1-turn shield and team-wide cooldown for 1 turn as well, on a 3-turn cooldown. So really strong there. Great kit. There we go. We got the reset from Lamassu, and then we got Marius landing the triple hits. And you know what? Lamassu really makes it work, right? Lamassu gives Marius the extra damage that he needs. My Marius is only a 2-star Marius. He's not even as cranked up as he could be. Really looking forward to his 6-star. I had Marius since September, and I'm stuck at 2 stars. I have the resources, but I can't get him in the shop, so nothing we can do there. Against this form, the basically the lion form, it's actually pretty straightforward. The lion form would never be able to kill us, especially with the Unkillable buff. And yeah, he takes quite a bit of damage as well. Probably a little bit lower defense. So against the triple hit slam from Marius, he takes quite a bit. Decreased defense and weaken, slow down, speed up. We could drop the decreased attack here. Very useful if you don't have the Unkillable buff active. Stacking the trials here. He does land some nasty debuffs if you don't have a block debuff up. He lands decreased defense and weaken on your whole team, and then he hits really hard multiple hits as well coming in, so the recovery against him is very important. But like I said, the Unkillable buff from Emic makes it much easier. Just double checking the trials. I was really hoping to find a team that could do a little bit more trials or a little bit more damage. My previous best was only 150 million. So keep in mind that the one key on Ultra Nightmare is 114 million. So my previous best was about 150, 155 million with 5 trials, I believe, or maybe 4 trials. So with this team, we did substantially better than that. So we're really happy to see it. And yeah, we had all the pieces in our roster. We just had to find the team that worked. So get the reset here from Lamasu. And the nuke's coming down. Extra turn. Decrease defense and weaken. Slow speed. There we go. Against Ultra Nightmare, we're pretty close to getting 1 A2 from Marius almost every turn the Chimera takes. So it's actually really good. Every one of Marius's A2s is worth probably about 2.5 million damage. It really, yeah, really depends. We looking forward to those higher blessings for sure. Right now we're running a Heaven Cast on Marius. I think it's just going to be the best best damage blessing for him right now until we get the 6-star Crushing Rend. There we go. So I want to show you guys what we did against the Viper. Against the Viper is actually a really big problem. I tried a lot of teams to try to deal with the Viper form, but it's really difficult. So here, this one's actually really bad. The block debuffs got stolen, so I wasn't paying too much attention there. Luckily, we got Marius to strip the block debuffs, and then we can land some of the debuffs there. So crisis averted. Against the Viper form, you pretty much have to set up your team so that you you are ready for the Viper form. So make sure you don't have any block debuffs up for the Viper to steal. Make sure if you're running Lydia, you have the A3 ready to land it right away. It's more important than landing decreased defense and weaken. You want to land the block active skills right away. And then after that, after you land the block active skills, the Viper form is actually pretty simple. It's actually pretty simple because they can't really use any of the big abilities. And then you just unload the damage on him. Another ability that works really well is the Unkillable buff. The Unkillable buff works really well, so now you no longer can die from necrosis or poisons. But yeah, you just have to be a little bit prepared leading up into the Viper form. At the very least, you should bring you know, healing, shield, or a cleanse, and use that after the poisons land on the first turn of the Viper form. If you don't have block active skills from Lydia, you're going to have to manage your buffs and cleansing and deep block debuffs a little bit more actively. But this is a very active team. So for example, this team, you kind of have to pay attention to which champions have which cooldowns ready so that you can use Lamasu for maximum effectiveness. But against the ultimate form here, we don't really need to even use the Unkillable from Emic here. But you can kind of see the general overall gameplay here. I think I covered most things. We went over the 3 forms a little bit on what our strategy was. But yeah, it's a full manual run, guys, not full auto or anything like that. But if you want the best results, you're going to be full manualing. It could do okay full auto, actually, because this team is just really consistent. But yeah, right now it's a full manual run. But we're going to go to the end, and I'll show you guys the results, and we'll go over some of the builds. All right, just finishing up the second Viper form here. So if you guys recall, you basically fight each form twice. So yeah, this is the second time against the Viper form. A lot of times with other teams, the run usually ends on the second Viper form. So here, not a problem with this, not a problem with this team at all. There we go. We had to reset Emic there, just put the Unkillable down. Why not? But honestly, no danger at all. No danger, high damage, safe, easy peasy with this team. Lamassu is hard to replace, right? Lamassu brings decreased speed, decreased attack, and then the reset. It's kind of hard to replace Lamassu, but without Lamassu, it just means you do a little bit less damage. So you can bring somebody else with decreased speed. For example, you can bring Nekmothar. Nekmothar will be fine because the Nekmothar does a turn meter boost, which, you know, kind of gives you more turns. It's not as good as, you know, instant reset and, you know, instant reset and turn meter, but like, yeah, it's still not a bad replacement. And I guess leech is kind of okay, but if you're running Emic, you don't really need the leech. Emic brings shield and unkillable. But yeah, Lamassu is pretty hard to replace. Just work on those siege wins. Eventually you'll get her. Big help. And nearing the end here, we're in the final ultimate form. We're nearing 200 million. I was hoping to reach 200 million this time, but I think we're a little bit far away from 200 million. Don't need to place the unkillable. We should have probably just attacked. But the taunt doesn't really do anything against the Chimera. Yeah, taunt doesn't do anything. There you go, one more slam. And then on turn 65, the Chimera will fly away. So I got one more turn of damage here. How much more damage can we throw in? Marius gets one more. Throwing the reset in, throwing everything at him. See if we can get another hit from Marius. And looks like we're out. Yep. So that's it. 193 million damage. 5 trials only, but it improves about over 40 million over my previous best. Marius doing basically all the damage. Lydia coming in here with a little bit of War Master damage. I don't think anybody else has War Master even, so nobody's really doing any damage. Emic is just hitting, so he's probably just doing a little damage there. But yeah, honestly, super happy with this run. Like I said, I've been trying out a bunch of teams today. You know, the main problem is, you know, trying to run Marius by himself or running Marius with another damage dealer. Yeah, it's tough to try to knock out all those trials while doing really good damage. You know, I tried to run, I think the other team that I was trying to run was with Sulfurion to cover the HP burn trial, but I think with that team I ran up to about 7 trials, and I ended up dying against the Viper form way too often. So it's really hard to find a good balance, a good team. But honestly, this team is super consistent. It works really, really well. Highly recommend it if you can run it. So far, it's been, you know, solid for me. Obviously, I want to improve and try to knock out more trials. Try to do more and more. But for now, this is a really good first start. I'll show you guys some of the champions on the teams, on the team so far. So Elva here, we got a 9-piece protection set. She's really good with the 9-piece protection because her A1 places continuous heal, and occasionally that will land on Marius, giving Marius an additional, you know, 5% buff because she's in 9-piece protection. You can see total stats here. She's 333 speed, 80k HP in 9-piece protection. Keep in mind that the Chimera himself is 305 speed, so, you know, we're not, you know, we have to play against what we're playing against, right? So we're not going to run like 200 speed champions against the Ultra Nightmare Chimera. You know, we need our supports to be fast. 333 speed for the Elva here against the 305 Chimera. Not, you know, specifically built for it or anything. We got Oppressor here for the masteries, so she can get some extra turn meter if she needs to revive somebody. After that, we got Emic. Emic's going to be running 301 speed, 72k HP. Again, not a crazy build or anything like that. He doesn't require accuracy, similar to Elva, which is fine. So pretty much just speed, guys. And 9-piece protection, no masteries, no relics. Cruelty for a blessing. And yeah, that's Emic. Pretty quick and dirty. Here's Lamasu. Lamasu is a little bit more of an interesting build. We got her in a Relentless and a Merciless set. This build actually worked really well because her extra turns gave her more opportunity to reset Marius for more damage, or reset a support to get one of the support skills back. Yeah, it's a really tough build to build out because, first of all, the Chimera requires about 500 accuracy. So we got 539 on my Lamasu, 333 speed, pretty low HP. She was pretty much one of the first to die usually, so she was the lowest HP in the whole team. So here, pretty quick, good accuracy. No relics, cruelty. I did run Eagle Eye, so that helped out a little bit for Lamasu. All right, and now we got Lydia here in a 9-piece protection set. A little bit low on the accuracy. You need about 500 for Ultra Nightmare. We got 467, 85k HP with 294 speed. So a little bit similar to like Emic and Elva in terms of like stats, but Lydia requires accuracy. No relics, cruelty for blessing. Probably could have ran somebody in Brimstone to get a little bit more damage. Brimstone's not insane damage, but it could probably squeeze out a couple million over all of those runs. Maybe like 10 million, maybe. But yeah, Brimstone. Got War Master on Lydia here. Here's the star of the show. We got Marius here. Marius is running 9-piece Merciless, 264 speed with 339 crit damage. Only a 2-star Marius, so eventually we'll get the 4-star for extra crit damage, and then the 6-star for extra speed and accuracy. But for now, this build works pretty good. Like I said, 9-piece Merciless, chance for extra turns, does happen quite often. You know, 1 in 7 chance or whatever, it does happen, 1 in 7 turns. And then you have 30% chance to decrease random skills cooldown by 1 turn. That's a big one. Marius, very good in this. You have Cat's Gaze for some additional ignore defense damage. Helm Smasher for the masteries here. Running Heaven Cast for the blessing. So last look here. We got Cat's Gaze and then Heaven's Cast. All right, guys. All right, so that's gonna be the team. Like I said, I ran it today. Best run I've ever had. 193 million, 40 million better than my previous with 5 trials. I think it's going to be the best I can do with this roster so far. I mean, it's, you know, later on when Marius gets 6-star, then he can do a lot better. I believe Slayer gear would work maybe better than 9-piece Merciless. So if you got it, then use it, of course. But for me, Merciless is the best that I can do. Anyways, guys, one final look at the team here. So let me know what you guys think about this team. Do you guys have any suggestions or alternatives for me? Mainly, I'm trying to look for more opportunities to do some trials. I do have a team with Sulfurion, but it's a little bit difficult to put everything together on that team. But this team right now with Emic, Lamasu makes it real consistent and smooth. Very safe. Never felt in danger or anything like that. So I might just keep running this team for a little bit longer and until I can find a suitable replacement. I do think Sulfurion would give me a higher trial team, but probably lower damage and probably much less consistent. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this team. Hopefully there's some information here that you guys didn't know, and hopefully it helped you guys out in building your own teams and doing as well as you can in this Chimera content. So thanks for watching. Appreciate your time as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.